in a family of elite combat athletes and top-tier performers. The final boss has always stood out, even when he was just a blue chipper. But there wouldn't be a final boss, there wouldn't even be a bloodline if it wasn't for The Rock's grandfather, the High Chief Peter Maivia. You can think of him as the first boss. Predecessor to the tribal chief.
He is one of, if not the foundation for our family. The Anawa'i Fatu Maivia wrestling dynasty. I don't think there's anybody more responsible for what's going on now than the High Chief himself.
Peter Maivia isn't simply one of the two principals behind the sacred blood bond. He's also an incredibly decorated professional wrestler who traveled the world and won titles everywhere he went. New Zealand, Japan, Europe, and here in the United States, where he enjoyed especially successful runs in Hawaii and California. Maivia would eventually find his way to WWE, engaging in legendary battles with the likes of superstar Billy Graham. His larger-than-life personality would win the WWE Universe over in short order, as it had throughout his entire career. In the ring, High Chief Peter Maivia was a potent blend of brawn and grappling technique, often muscling his opponents down to the mat through a variety of joint locks and then switching to more painful holds once grounded. His sleeper hold and stump puller were both feared and renowned, and make no mistake about it, Maivia knew there was always more than one path to the ultimate victory. Out of the ring, High Chief Peter Maivia also ran one of the most successful wrestling promotions on the planet, Polynesian Pro Wrestling, based out of Hawaii, showing his mastery of the business in every aspect. His induction into WWE's Hall of Fame class of 2008 was supremely deserved, forever enshrining Peter Maivia as the legend he always was. And now, we present to you the opportunity to walk in the boots of the legendary High Chief Peter Maivia, facing off against one of the most legendary WWE rivals, George the Animal Steele. You will settle this score once and forever, and showcase the overwhelming strength of Peter Maivia, which has ever since remained as a hallmark for every single solitary member of this bloodline. Steele is no easy battle, though. He thrives in the chaos, one of pro wrestling's true madmen. He'll even try to eat part of the ring if he thinks it'll help him break you down. So do your best and honor High Chief Peter Maivia properly with a resounding victory.
Uh-oh, somebody called the local zoo.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is a steel cage match. Introducing first, from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 275 pounds, George the Animal Steele.
I'm not even sure the cage can contain this man.
And strolling down the aisle, the opponent of George Steele, Peter Maivia.
Always a chaotic matchup.
His opponent from the Isle of Samoa, weighing in at 275 pounds,
keep an eye on Maivia because Maivia is a true brawler.
Few men can handle the chaos of the animal inside a steel cage, but I believe the High Chief is ready.
Maivia carrying such pride into the ring.
Very stark contrast to Steele.
We'll see which prevails tonight.
High Chief Peter Maivia taking on George the Animal Steele in a steel cage match. Quite a heated history between these two guys.
Yeah, Michael, and I think it's because Maivia is one of the few superstars brave enough to take on the animal. Most of their contests have ended in countouts or disqualifications. Thanks to the cage, we'll get a decisive victory in this one.
Well, that really depends on if a cage can even contain them. Gentlemen, we've touched on the differences between Maivia and Steele as competitors. One man based on order, the other on chaos, but it's reflected in their looks, too.
Indeed, Michael. Just look at the sculpted physique of the High Chief. And the tribal tattoos on his body are extremely intricate and definitely eye-catching.
And Steele is, well, he's an ugly creature. Enough hair on his upper torso to classify as fur. Folds in his bald head. He's like a modern-day Neanderthal.
Sent into the corner. Maivia gets stonewalled.
Both superstars countering one move after another. Boom, running STO plants him.
Nicely done.
Some folks call Peter Maivia the Flying Hawaiian, and the reasons are obvious for that moniker. But guys, how has he earned the other nickname of the High Chief?
Well, Cole, Peter Maivia is very close to the Anawa'i family. In fact, Peter's considered a blood brother to the patriarch of that clan.
When you add on the fact that Maivia was born and raised in Samoa, you can see the great pride he has for that land and its people in the tribal ink that covers his body.
Take it over!
Going for the win here!
Hold on.
Trying to steal one. He calls off the pin attempt, maybe wanting to try something else.
Oh my gosh, what impact!
Peter Maivia prevents that from connecting.
George Animal Steele is not a wrestler by any stretch of the imagination, guys. He's a true brawler.
And he might be the best brawler in WWE, Michael. There is no shortage of fight in the animal.
But you know who might be a better brawler, guys? The High Chief Peter Maivia. When you consider that Maivia is also an excellent high flyer and a great technician, well, you can see why the High Chief is the favorite in this match, even with the steel cage stipulation.
We've seen that Steele isn't above using a foreign object to gain the edge against Maivia. So he's got to have the advantage in a match where they're surrounded by one huge weapon, right?
Well, you'd think that, Cole, but think about how these men prepared for this match. The High Chief is a consummate professional who's game planned for this stipulation. And Steele, well, I think he just...
Peter Maivia has something brewing.
Snap you in half. No way Steele's coming back from that.
The animal has to be elated to be in this steel cage against one of his biggest rivals, no less.
Yeah, Byron, we've seen the animal brandish a weapon against Peter Maivia before when it was against the rules. The High Chief better be prepared for Steele to get even crazier.
Oh, Maivia is prepared, all right. The man is extremely tough and agile. In fact, the High Chief's entire body can be considered a weapon. Continuous counters. These superstars looking locked in.
Drop.
Bam!
And Steele fending him off. The High Chief Peter Maivia really making a name for himself at WWE, but he's had plenty of experience on the way up.
Plenty of championships on the West Coast, but he's made the biggest splash in Hawaii where he earned multiple tag team titles.
Oh yeah, Maivia is a huge celebrity on the... Going head to head, putting each other to the test.
Counters!
So much pride, so much resiliency on display. It looks like we've got ourselves a brawl here. Who will break first? That is the question.
Headbutt! Oh, what a kick.
Maivia just dominated the animal with that one.
Steele might be a bit of an underdog here. In fact, he lost the match by countout to the High Chief.
In Steele's defense, I'm not sure he knows how to count exactly or how to read a rule book. So he's got to be...
Into the pin. George is trying to seal this one up. And the count doesn't even begin.
How'd he do that? Uh-oh.
Targeting the stomach to reverse that maneuver.
He's going back to the wells. So much damage inflicted. Maivia can taste it now.
There's two.
How close was that?
That was about as close as it could get without it all being over for him.
And now the question runs in the mind, how am I going to be able to end this? Peter Maivia, very tough, but he also has movie star good looks. Quite the combo.
And it served him well, Michael. In fact, the High Chief has major acting and stunt work credits to his name. And who knows? Maybe we'll see the Maivia name on Hollywood billboards again sometime.
Well, before any of that happens, the High Chief needs to survive this war against the animal.
And well-timed maneuver there.
Took him out the knee.
The tried and true strategy of chopping down the tree by going for the leg.
Are we about to see it again? Backbreaker flawlessly executed.
Does it again, and there's no way to come back from that.
Two. He stays alive. He stays alive.
I would have bet this was one after that last hit.
Goes to show you just never know what your opponent's capable of.
And it's going to take composure now. Could just need one more big move.
Trying to stay sure-footed on the way up.
Sitting on the cage. What's the next move from here? And he's straddling the top of the cage, just feet away from making it to the outside.
He's halfway home. Time to start the descent.
This superstar dragging them back down to continue this fight.
Oh, face full of steel. That one just bust.
He covers. Is this it?
Could be.
Shoulder up even before a one count.
Not a whole lot of luster behind that kick out.
Oh, man, what a strike. And it seems as though the High Chief is in a rare state of distress.
Yeah, it's very difficult to prepare for George the Animal Steele.
This has been a true brawl.
Soaring.
Big elbow drop.
And Peter Maivia can't mount any offense.
Yeah, and George Steele is just overwhelming the High Chief here.
Twisting. Ooh. And George Steele has the High Chief in dire straits after that move.
Scrambling up the cage wall now.
Taking it step by step, climbing onwards and upwards.
He's looking to gain the higher ground on the wall of the cage here. Victory could be close at hand, but first he's got to get himself over the top of the cage.
Oh, he's almost there.
He better move.
He's getting even closer to making an escape.
This is what he's been training for. This moment right here. Oh! Double axe handle finds the mark.
You go up, you have to come down. And now going to start the climb up the cage.
Each inch you climb puts you in more of a precarious position.
He climbed to the top of the cage, but now his choices are limited. He's trying to escape. He's got to give everything he has to push himself over the top.
You can almost taste it now.
Having a problem lifting that other leg over.
And the High Chief defeats wins the Animal.
Here is your winner, High Chief Peter Maivia.
Anytime these two have faced off, it's been